You're listening to Punisher Waterfowls, the Union 0430 podcast. Brought to you by Real Geese Decoys, the most technologically advanced silhouette decoy on the market. First Light, the best hunting gear on the planet. Go farther, stay longer. And Ducklander Calls, tradition, education, and quality. Built to hunt.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Union 0430 episode 161. And a couple weeks ago we had Ash Barr on the show as he talked about a veteran hunt that him and a group of dudes were putting together. Well, Ash has come back this week to talk about it. They had pulled that weekend off and it was a success. Brought his buddy Andy Mace with him. So we're going to get into that, but Philly is on with me again. So opening weekend had just passed. Philly, you were into the birds. You had a great opener. I did something a little unconventional. I didn't even bring my gun for opener this time. I just ran the dog. So we'll get into some opener stuff as we move through the show. But Ash and Andy are the guests of honor tonight for the millions of fans. So we'll get to them and we'll start talking about your new Cordoba later here, Philly. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome Ash back and Andy coming to us from Manitoba. Boys, tell us about the veteran hunt.
Well, I think the best description would be accuracy by volume.
Okay, so you know, bracketing and
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We totaled 118 birds in 3 hunts, and it took over 500 shells. So that's why I say accuracy by volume.
Hey, Ricky. Yeah, well, you know what? That's
Ricky by
far. Okay.
Yep.
Andy, are you a fairly experienced bird hunter?
You know, in all fairness, no, this would probably be only my 5th season, but I'm absolutely hooked.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I bet. So, you know, not that I want to totally ignore Ash, but Ash is sort of kind of on the management side of this, and I'd sort of kind of like to get your thoughts on how, you know, on how it was all pulled together, just like right from the start, you know, getting told, hey, you're picked or you're selected to go on the camp and you know, tell us about the whole process, even showing up to you know, the camp that evening.
Yeah, sure. So it all started at work, actually, at the 2nd Battalion.
Are
Scotty
you
Collin.
still serving?
I am still serving.
Okay,
yeah.
good for you.
Yeah. So Scotty Collin, the sergeant, was actually freshly retired. He used to be you know, the OPI, the guy in charge, if you will, of said hunt.
Yeah.
It used to be called something else, and there was other guys running it before, but then COVID happened and that got shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, since Scotty was retiring, he's like, hey Andy, like, how would you like to be the dude from the battalion to, you know, pick guys and go on this hunt? So that's how it all came about, and he put me in touch with Ash here and just took it from there.
Okay. So so are you on the organizing side or on the participant side?
So I was on a little bit of both, I'd say.
A little bit of both. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I was in it more for the hunt myself, to be honest. It was my first guided anything, so it was absolutely unreal.
Yeah. That I bet if that's your first time on a guide with fellas doing the majority of the work, right?
Yeah, like obviously, you know, I enjoy putting in the work, but just being able to like show up, you know, and have guides with dogs doing all the calling and just being able to just lay there and pop up and shoot. It's just unreal.
Awesome. Ash, how was it like as a I guess as somebody that was in charge of organizing and stuff like that? How did it go with the group of fellas that ended up showing up?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Like everyone pitched in, everyone helped. You know, typical army guy stuff, right?
Right.
There's a job to do, everyone piles in, gets it done.
Yeah.
You know, and apparently there was no negative comments, at least none that we heard. You know, regarding the hunt, but yeah, everyone had just a riot, ate like pigs, drank a bunch of beers, you know, got little to no sleep, and
Yeah.
we're planning it for next year. So
That's awesome. Um, Now, was there any first time hunters that showed up there with you guys?
yeah, Jeff had never shot
Oh,
waterfowl.
oh, Jeff
Romeo had
Martin.
never. Yeah, Jeff Martin's never shot
Oh,
waterfowl.
oh, okay. I didn't know that. Yeah,
Another guy, Romeo Zapata, he was a reserve guy.
yeah.
He never shot waterfowl, and he's doing overtime now to probably buy a shotgun because he's hooked. So
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Another one's
Well,
fallen victim.
yeah. Another one. Well, just make sure he stays away from Philly, because if he gets that expensive Italian taste that Philly's got, he's going to be pumping in a lot of overtime.
Yeah.
Life's too short to hunt with an ugly gun.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah.
So explain to us was it a meet and greet on Friday, then hunt Saturday, hunt Sunday sort of
Yeah,
deal?
it was a meet and greet on Friday. The guys showed up 6 o'clock ish, you know, civilian timings, right?
Yep.
And we had, you know, food was ready, supper was ready for them when they got there. They had a bite to eat, had some beers. There was some presentations done, like guys, you know, they got their swag bags and stuff like that, which I got a whole list of guys I want to say thank you to here.
Yeah.
And then some guys did some presentations talking about the marsh and everything like that.
Okay.
Then, you know, that carried on till probably close to midnight, you know.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then that night, actually, our member of parliament, James Bazan, showed up
Oh, nice.
to meet the guys. And we're thinking, oh, you know, be a quick little, you know, meet and greet, little grip and grin. And 2 hours later, he left.
Yeah.
So he had a good sit down with us and chatted and listened. So
and James Bazan is such a huge backer of our firearms, right? So I follow James quite a bit on the political side of things, and he is such a strong voice for firearms rights all across Canada. So that's amazing that he actually showed up.
And he's the shadow minister of the Minister of National Defense as well.
Yeah.
So it was kind of comical. In the evening there, we're chatting with them, and he asked one of the guys, so what do you think of this? And the guy said, oh, you want my answer? And he said, yes. I'm like, oh, shit, here we go. You know, so
well, that's good. It's good that fellas are honest, or being honest and not sugarcoating it. That, you know, before Philly's time, but when old Billy Blair there was the chief of Toronto cops, I'm sure he could have used.
He handed my badge.
Did he?
Yep.
Oh, I thought you showed up long after he.
No. Well, actually, no. Let me rephrase that. Billy Madison handed my badge to my father, and my father presented it to me.
Right. Well, somebody should have had some honest conversations with the old Billy Madison there, and maybe because he's a fucking twat. Anyways, I digress. No, that's awesome. Andy, you know, I just bouncing back and forth between you and Ash and stuff, you know, and you're talking about some new waterfowlers. So, you know, Jeff Martin, I know, and it's such a small world that, you know, you guys put this hunt together, and then I get a message from Jeff, and it's a picture of him with you guys, and I'm just like, this is crazy, you know. You know, just goes to show just how small the world is. You guys are about 2,000 kilometers away from me, and here's an old army friend of mine, and he's out hunting with you guys. So it's pretty cool. But you know, one of the things that we're seeing, and by no means is this this is the way it should be, or if it wasn't, you did it wrong, and that's not what I mean. But we're starting to see a lot of organizations now putting these hunts together for first responders, and, you know, firefighters and policemen and veterans and medical professionals and all these people. And it's a I think it got a lot to do with saying thanks for all the things that these groups do, but it's also a break to show them, you know what, the outdoors can be such a wonderful tool to help you decompress, to relax, to come back to ground yourself in the whole bit. Did any of that stuff happen over the weekend? Like I said, it's not bad if it didn't. It's just
no, absolutely. It feels great, especially in the world the way it is today, to feel appreciated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I say it a lot, but like nowadays, it's I don't know, it's a weird thing. So it feels good that there's people that are saying, hey, we do care, and thank you. And like you said, there's no better way to do it than with stuff from the outdoors. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It was nice to see everyone just kind of slow down. Like the number of times I looked and there's 2 or 3 guys standing on the berm, looking out over the river, because the lodge was right on the river.
Okay.
And just sitting there and watching birds fly by and just taking it all in. And the guys I know they're gonna be fighting to see who goes next year, that's for sure.
Oh, you bet.
That's a good problem to have. Philly, in your line, I know it's hard, right? Because I find coppers they're a different breed, because I think that the public perception of them, it's very 50-50, right? You're either pro cop or you're anti cop, right? There's really no middle ground. There's nobody that's walking around saying, cops, give or take, whatever, right? There's no middle ground. It's either love them or hate them. And I find most coppers, and I know a lot, they're very, very reluctant to engage too much in the public side of things, right? Just because they don't know who they're dealing with, and some people can get their face in a knot because there's a cop around or whatever, right?
Well, another thing too is we're held to a complete different standard with like the Police Services Act.
Okay.
Because like I do something off duty,
right,
that's questionable, whatever the case may be, I can get charged.
Right.
So
So
the Police Services Act.
So when I make the statement earlier, where we're seeing a lot of the first responders and stuff getting offered these things, like, do you see this on the cop side of things? Like, does these things happen? Where
We
these hunts are put together and stuff?
No.
Right?
No.
All right. So to the millions that are listening, and trust me, as a veteran, I appreciate everything everybody does for veterans, but let's start showing some love to the cops, because they've been the butt of our jokes for way too long.
So I always tell people, like, I hear somebody say, oh, fuck this cop or whatever. He did this to me, he pulled me over for whatever the case may be. And I always say, put yourself in their shoes. Like, think about all the shitty things they have to put up with, every day on the job. Like, especially in the cities, it's tough, man. I couldn't do it.
Oh, no,
thanks.
Actually, I was
the thing I laugh about the most is, oh yeah, I got a ticket for speeding. Were you speeding?
Yeah.
Well, like, like, you can't fix stupid. No, like you can muffle the sounds with duct tape, but that's about it.
But you're right, Andy. Like, I couldn't be a cop, man. Like, so, and here we go. Here's on one of the tangents that we'll end up on. So this past weekend, for opener, I was out with an outfitter, who had some people. They needed someone to run a dog for them, so I brought my dog. I didn't even bring my gun. Anyways, 2 of these guys that are outfitters are one's still a cop, and the other one's an ex-cop. And they was just chatting, right? And they were talking about me being in the Army and asking me about my tours and stuff like this. And they were like, man, it's crazy. I don't know how you guys do it. And I'm like, you don't know how we do it. I was like, I couldn't do your job. I was like, when I got bad guys in front of me, I know exactly what I'm allowed to do. You, on the other hand, have 50 million fucking phone cameras pointed at you, plus your body cam, plus everybody just waiting for you to screw up and do something wrong so they can plaster it all over the internet. I was like, there's no way, man, I could do your job. Not a chance in hell.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I tell people. If they don't like the police, well, the next time you're in trouble, call a crackhead. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? Not and that's easy for us to say, I guess. Where so like you guys that are in a close proximity to Winnipeg, and then Toronto and the bigger cities around here. Listen, we seen down in the States when they came up with this idea about defunding the police and how well that worked out for them. And how fast they went back to hiring the police and getting them back onto the streets. Because you don't like them until you need them, and that's the funny thing.
And I see the idiots too, because I work in a jail here. So
yeah, right. I forgot all about that. But yeah, so just on the, I guess, the weekend, it's hard to pull it out on just how much it means to fellas, right? Like, and I know everybody there was appreciative of it, right? Because that's just the type of people that you had, and people would be appreciative of it and had a good laugh and being around the dudes. But I wonder if now, after a few days, a week of being back and had a chance to sit back and think about it, I wonder just how special it was, especially to the fellas that have never ever duck hunted or goose hunted before, and even guys that have. How special it is if it's already people that or some of them, makes it a little bit more comfortable to coming in and sitting in a blind with instead of with a bunch of strangers. But you all got that. Everybody there would have that common ground of being a veteran, right? Or still serving. So I would think that it would just had been a special atmosphere to be in.
Yeah, it was great. And you know what? I'm kind of getting sick and tired of it at work, but it's just like everyone's caught wind of it, seen social media pictures here and there. So it's just all over work. Every time I'm going somewhere just to the bathroom, it's like, oh, hey Andy, how about that hunt next year? Blah blah blah. Like, I heard it was great,
That's awesome.
It's unreal. So the word is out, trying to keep it down low, hush hush, but no, it's spread like a virus.
That's got to be great news for the Marsh Authority, though, Ash? Like, to know that there's that kind of excitement about next year. And then listen, and let's face it, and call it for what it is. Like, those Marsh authorities and those not-for-profits, like, it's not an easy or a cheap thing to be running. So now with this excitement, they've got to be really excited about it, because maybe this will result in some new fundraising dollars for them.
Well, we've already kind of got a plan there for, actually, Andy and the guys came up with a plan for next year on who gets to go instead of just whoever's Andy's best friend here,
right?
Out of the battalion. And it would help fund into the Netley Marsh Foundation, which could pass on to Soldier On or Wounded Warrior Project, or a myriad of other things as well, which we're looking at doing to help kind of fund the hunt, but to push it a little further, to get back to some veteran communities, and just kind of help keep it going that way.
I think it's a great thing. It's a great thing that it's put together, and that you're pulling guys out, or girls, whatever, and you're pulling them out and you're putting them on a hunt and stuff like that. But I think one of the big things to try and remember through all of this, and get the message out. And listen, I'm a veteran myself, and trust me, I really do appreciate all the work that people put into this kind of stuff. But it can never be forgotten about the the Marsh Foundation, and just how hard it is, especially today's age where everything is so bloody expensive, and so trying to raise money to keep this going, it's got to be, and this is just me talking, you know what I mean, like, but it's got to be a big part of the focus, as to bring some recognition to the area, and hopefully, you know what, maybe you drum up some new volunteers to help out as well. Philly, like, you look at places like Luther Marsh down around where you are, and Scugog, and all these places, like, they've all got conservation authorities attached to them, I would assume, don't they?
Yeah, like there's, I can't remember what it's called. It's like the Lake Scugog Stewardship,
Right.
something. Like we've got a local like Facebook group for Port Perry.
Yeah.
And I see them post on there once in a while, like about the lake and this and that. I'm not too sure about like Luther or Hollet,
Right.
because it's a little further
away. Yeah.
further west than where I am. But like I know, like there's groups and volunteers in place. They do like cleanup projects, or a lot of times like this Lake Scugog group, like they'll message, like they'll post on like the Port Perry page, like there's a bit of like an algae bloom.
Okay. Yeah.
You may not want to go in the water, like they're quite hands on, which is good to see. Like there is people and things in place to help, because like otherwise, like who else is going to do it?
Yeah.
Nobody.
That's right.
Yeah, and like part of the funding that we're looking, to gain interest for next year and everything like that is getting better access points to the marsh, not just for hunters, people who photography, or
recreational canoers.
Exactly. Yeah.
Andy never came. At the end of the day, it's not all about duck hunters, right?
No,
that's right.
Andy never came with us on the Saturday evening hunt. He opted to stay back at camp and lounge in a sauna that we had running, and like we're roughing it there. So
okay, yeah, all right, you're losing me here, Andy, buddy.
Dane, you gotta up your game, bro.
Man, that sauna was something else, not gonna lie.
Boy, yeah,
you gotta up your game.
Roughing it.
But so, like, the Marsh Foundation that you guys were using, like, so what is it? Like, is it, how can I say it? Is it a waterfowl refuge type area where that's their main goal, or is it a conservation authority where their entire goal is, if it's bird watchers, if it's canoers, if it's duck hunters, if it's,
Yeah. Originally, it started out kind of towards the, as a for bird hunters and stuff like that. But
right,
Tim and I are wanting to shift it to a different avenue, so it's enjoyed by all.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about maybe an event coming up before hunting season next year, where we got a bunch of people coming out, have a tailgate thing, so you $20 a tailgate, sell your hunting gear, stuff you don't want. We got decoy carvers possibly coming out to show off their stuff, and do a thing to help raise money. And
you're doing like a gear swap, right?
Yeah.
No, that it's awesome. And we use this a lot when we're talking about to the anti-hunters. We throw this term out a lot when we're dealing with anti-hunters, where we say, as hunters, we're some of the biggest conservationists in the world, right? Like our duck stamp goes right back to preserving wetlands and stuff like that. And I'm not taking anything away from the hunters, but some of the biggest money that these organizations, so like Ducks Unlimited, Delta, these not-for-profits, some of the biggest donations they get are from non-hunters. So when you open it up to non-hunters, and it's a public place for everybody to enjoy, Well, now you're opening up a whole new revenue stream where you can start fundraising, right? So,
well, and it's
like the old saying is, what is anti-hunting propaganda fund?
What's that?
What is anti-hunting propaganda fund?
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Yeah, absolutely.
But we're also wanting to open it up to families.
Yeah.
Like for that little get together. Okay, we got a decoy tossing competition for kids. See if you can put it in this little pot, a little kiddie pool or whatever. See if you can hit it in there, and like get have dog trial stuff going on, and like get families involved in it, because without we can we're the next generation coming in. I still would like to think I'm young. My body says otherwise, but my boys are that next step.
Yeah.
To take over and help run this and keep pushing on, because if we don't, there's not going to be anything left.
No, you're 100% right. And it seems, and I'm not, we've tried to not paint this newer generation into a corner and throw a bunch of shade on them, because I think they get a raw deal a lot of times, this new generation, just because they're doing things different than what we are. I think they get somewhat of a raw deal. But I think what you're doing and what Andy is doing and what you guys are doing out there, that's starting to set the groundwork for younger generation to watch you and your kids and say, well, if this is important to dad, then it should be important to me, right? And that's we've all used the term a million times ourselves. We lead from the front, right? So if you want something, if you want people to follow you, then you had to set the standard and you had to set the example, right? So it's good on you guys, because let's face it, everyone is busy these days, and the demands at home and at work are always, they're just constantly growing. They're not getting less, it's getting more. And then you still got to devote some volunteer time for the causes that are important to you. So good on you that you're doing it. And I hope that by opening it up, or whatever it is that you guys do in the future, I just hope that it brings more attention to the area, and it just it keeps the area going, so this thing can keep continuing for years and years to come, right?
Yeah, that's what we're hoping. Like, I had beers with Tim last night, and we had a little chat on Sunday, after the hunt and everything like that was done, and sat back and went, oh shit, we finally did this. It's over.
Yeah.
And then we gave it a little bit, and we talked about some things, what we found went right, what we found went wrong, and hopefully Andy and you guys didn't notice anything of the stuff that went wrong. But like you said, we shot a lot of shells and got some birds and ate like pigs. Everyone loved we cut up some of the goose on Saturday and put it in crock pots with mushroom soup and onions.
Ooh, that recipe though, it's in my playbook now.
Yeah. So at least they got to try it. Some guys hesitant on eating bird, and okay, they tried this. Okay, yeah, we're making that.
Yeah.
Sharing it with their families. And
was that all you guys were into? Was it just Canada's, or were you into ducks as well?
There was, the guy shot a bunch of teal on Saturday night. Okay, they shot at a bunch of teal on Saturday night. They didn't, they hit more air than birds.
Yeah.
Mostly Canada's, a bunch of lessers. We actually got, on the Sunday morning when I was guiding Andy, Jeff, and Romeo, I think out of the 19 birds that we got, I think 8 or 9 of them were cacklers. So, yeah, Jeff actually managed to get 4 and 3 shots. So,
we got shot some more cacklers last night, just down here, near Nanette. Yeah, near Nanette, my buddy and I. So it's cool to see them.
Yeah, I've never. Have you ever shot a cackler, Philly? I've never shot one. I don't think.
Lessers.
I gotta look
that's
at
about
my
it.
board. I don't think I've shot a cackler.
Well, all you have to do is put Canada goose feathers on the duck behind you, Phil.
On a big mallard. Yeah,
that's a cackler. They're that
tiny.
big.
Like I've shot some small geese, but I wouldn't say it was a cackler.
Yeah.
Like wasn't much bigger than a good sized mallard. Well, I
Yeah,
wouldn't think it was a cackler. Just
the one-
too much beak on it.
Yeah, the one cackler we shot was basically the same size as a female pintail we shot that same morning.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your what's your weather? Because I know I joke about the millions of fans and stuff like that, but we do have a lot of people that listen to the show, and a lot of them are south of the border. So for anybody that's Minnesota and that area now, they're really going to be paying attention to what you guys are saying when it comes to the birds, because they're all going to start making their way across the border. And start. So, what kind of is migration started out your way yet, or is it still mostly all resident birds?
We're seeing more birds from the north coming in. We need some weather to kind of stall them a bit, but
okay. Yeah.
we had a good amount, and then all of a sudden there was none. And then another big wave came down just prior to the hunt. Like, we were hunting, our first morning was out near Oak Hammock Marsh.
Okay, yeah, I know the area. Yeah.
Yeah, and we were literally right on the firing line, and 20,000, 30,000 geese we saw that morning. It was nuts.
Right.
Not that many came in. We were trafficking them, but
yeah.
So I'm getting daily scouting reports from, like I said, the farm 20 minutes north of Dauphin there. And as of yesterday, the birds are coming. So that's why we're going this weekend. So yeah. Mostly snows in the photos so far. Yeah. Which is weird.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
I was in Saskatchewan whenever it was, a few years ago. And we shot everything but Canada's. Like everything. We shot snows.
Same thing when I went last year.
Yeah. When you were out there
Never
last
shot
year.
a single Canada.
Yeah, like we didn't even see it. Like we went looking for Canada's one day. We were just like, this is weird. And we found we found a few hundred, but it wasn't in the thousands by no means. And still, not that we wanted to shoot Canada's anyways, because we can shoot Canada's whenever. We were looking at specks and snows, but and that was around Thanksgiving weekend in Saskatchewan then when we were doing that. So I don't know, maybe that's around about, maybe that's on schedule. I don't know. You guys would know better. You're out there, right? But that's got to be exciting. Like if you're starting to see snows now, Andy, like, buddy.
So last year we went out and the three dudes limited out in the first 28 minutes of the hunt. So we were like, well, all right, that was fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You limited out in 28 minutes on snows?
Oh, it was not on snows. No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I was gonna go like that's an insane amount of birds.
No. On Canada's.
Oh, okay.
On Canada's. Yeah. But it was over before you do it, and then there's just thousands of geese.
I know. It's impressive.
Well, and before we started, I know you were chirping at Andy's hoodie there, since he's a Patricia.
Yeah.
Just ask about the first goose that he shot, and you'll hate him even more.
Oh, tarsal band and a GPS monitor on it, probably, was it?
Nah, she's only a double.
Oh,
but
that's nice.
The young fella from South Dakota who banded this bird, I think he thought I was joking, but I was dead serious on coming up here and doing a Canada hunt.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. He hasn't taken me up on it.
Yeah. But we managed a banded Canada and a banded teal on the hunt as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right.
That's awesome. That's Philly. You were in Saskatchewan. You didn't stop in Manitoba at all and hunt, right?
No.
We stopped in Manitoba. Yeah, we stopped in Manitoba, but it was only for crane. We stopped with
we seen a pile when we were out.
Yeah,
but like nothing came near us. Like we could see them like from the house that we were staying at. Like, oh Christ, it's Saskatchewan. You can watch your dog run away for 3 days. But like this field about 2 miles out, we get the binos out and you see like there was a whole pile. Like there was cranes out there.
Yeah.
We just never.
Whereabouts in Sask were you?
Yorkton.
Okay. Yep.
So I want to get some dirt on Jeff Martin, boys.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Because I don't know if Jeff is going to listen to this show. or not. I have no idea if he is, but I would love to have some ammo to throw at him. Ammo in the figurative sense of, hey, I heard you can't shoot where to shit, and you're
Well,
an
ask him.
Yeah.
Ask him why he was taking his pump shotgun out of his shoulder every time he went to rack the action.
Oh, Jeffy.
Yeah.
No, it's good, man. Like it's awesome. I'm super proud of you for doing what you're doing. It's awesome, man. And that was your start to the season, really, right? So, which is the
Yeah.
really cool thing, because now you got two fellas they've got the full season ahead of them now to start picking away at their gear, start to learn a few things, and get out there, right?
Yeah, and those guys, they've said, if but Tim and I are going to do a hunt or whatever, and we got room for an extra gun, give them a call or whatever, and jump
absolutely.
in, or
Yeah,
I'll take them out in the marsh, if they want to go, and why not? If I get the boat stuck, well, then it's just extra help, anyways.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Philly, I wanted to sort of kind of bring this in, and not to steal any of the time away from the boys or anything like that, but I wanted to get an idea on what. So I was out on opening weekend, but I didn't really hunt. I was just running the dog, so very limited on what I seen. But for anybody wondering and looking for a scouting report, how what's the birds that were you hunting all ducks on opener?
We were hunting water.
Yeah, okay.
So it was primarily we were there for ducks, but we got into a couple Canadas. Like we tried working some flocks, and just like they wouldn't give us the time of day.
Yeah,
and
I find
it was
they're so hard to hunt on water, right?
Oh yeah, like we were later into the morning. Like I think at the point where birds were coming back from the fields,
Mm-hmm.
and we were still set up. Like we hunted till almost noon. I think it was like 11:30 when we started to pack up. But we're sitting there, we're like watching whatever, and all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, here comes a 4-pack, and like they were doing it dirty.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a handful of honker decoys out, and sure enough, like this 4-pack, buddy, like on a string, straight to the kill hole, 20 yards, and the three of us just laced into. Like there wasn't even any calling required. Like it was that bad.
That's got to be funny for
left to right.
Yeah,
the end of the kill hole. All 4 of them done.
It's got to be funny for Andy and Ash to listen to that and hear like a 4-pack when you're used to hundreds and thousands. Do you know what I mean? Like Philly, we've had some good hunts down your way in your field where we've seen in the run of a morning we've seen a couple thousand birds. But that's in the run of a morning, whereas these guys are talking 1,000 in a flock that's just flying over.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Well, you don't we won't look at a field unless it's got 1,000 birds.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like having experienced that when I went out west last fall, like numbers wise, like Ontario is a freaking joke.
Oh
yeah. Well, and even on the Sunday, like I was talking to Jeff afterwards about it because I was guiding the guys on the Sunday, and I let 2 birds land, or 2 or 3 land in the decoys, just because we had another 6 or 7 coming in, and I'll take those all day. Give me those small flocks and pick away your limit that way.
Absolutely.
And I happen to look out of my blind, and here's this 7, 8, 9 pound goose just beating its wings right above Jeff, and he just itching to shoot it. And nope, don't you dare pull the trigger. You got more coming in. And we're sitting there, and then you'll take them and jump up. Okay, they're right on top of them. Right, the ones that work the pocket were just perfect.
So Andy, I gotta now, with the success of the hunt, you're the dude in the battalion, so everybody is at the canteen. Everyone's buying you your coffee now. So what are you putting in place? Because it's going to be popular, man. Like you're going to have fellas banging on the door wanting to go now. So like go for it.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So like, I mean, it was already like that trying to pick just the 3 slots, right? So, everybody was understanding of that, there's only so many spots and, whatever.
Understanding.
Yeah, understanding. Yeah, for sure. But it would be sweet to make it fair on everybody. And so that I don't feel like such an asshole. I think like the whole buy a ticket and raffle draw thing would be so much better, and it would raise a ton of money because
Absolutely.
There's 300 dudes in battalion right now that would chomping at the bit to get out here for something like that, right? So I mean,
yeah, and that's what we're looking at doing next year, is doing a draw for it.
That'd be cool.
You have to be a veteran to go, but someone else could buy a ticket for you, and away you go. And $10 a ticket, there you go. Money goes towards the marsh, which they'll use that money to run the actual hunt, but then give back to the wounded warriors or soldier on, or a bursary to the high school here in town for someone going into environmental studies.
Yeah.
And just share the wealth out that way, and then maybe even look at doing nesting boxes for birds out in the marsh, and you could buy one and in memory of a veteran and put their name on it. And here's the GPS coordination of it. Here's where it is.
That's all cool ideas. I think that'd be really cool, especially that nest box idea, and buy it in memorial of someone or whatever. That'd be, I think that would be pretty cool.
And if someone's in the area, they could go check it out then.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And there'd be guys who would, here's $20, put my name in twice, and draw the names, and we'd have a group of guys still coming back to help with it. Like Andy did some beautiful woodworking for some presents for the guys who helped out with it. And
cool.
Doug, whose camp we stayed at there, which was, I told the guys it's an okay camp, and everyone's jaws were just hitting the dragging on the gravel.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
That's good when you we're going to be roughing it, boys, but actually, now that I think about it, I got a goddamn sauna in it, so
sauna, hot showers, hot food.
Wow.
Man.
Yeah, it was like Air Force.
Yeah. I don't know, Philly.
Sounds rough.
It doesn't sound like anything we're staying in, does it?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It might be a trip coming up the end of October.
Oh, well, yeah, okay. So get this now. So here, we got to talk about this, and not to throw any shade on what you guys were doing up in Manitoba, but the end of next month, Philly and three of our other buddies are all heading down the Missouri to go hunt Habitat Flats with Tony Vandemore.
Ooh, nice.
And they won that. Right, so they won that.
Brian Rushton won it.
Brian Rushton won it and it was one of these Instagram tag your buddy, and you get a free trip down the Habitat Flat. So our buddy Brian Rushton wins it. So him and his best friend, they take the 2 free trips, and then Philly and our other buddy Trev, they get their trip at half cost. Right? Is that how it works?
25 off.
Oh, 25% off. So
yeah,
assholes.
Still costs an arm and a leg, but like it's a trip of a lifetime.
Yeah, well, you're going to go down and hunt Habitat Flats with Vandemore, right? Like that's
no big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. So
this is the biggest thing that's ever fucking happened to Southern Ontario. Holy shit!
That's awesome.
Yeah,
it's awesome. But yeah, like I tell you, I got to sit down. I got to sit back. Actually, I wasn't guiding. I wasn't in charge of the hunt. I didn't have to organize anything. It was literally just show up with my dog, sit in the back and retrieve birds. But I got to say, sitting back and watching a father and his son with his son's very first hunt, and watching birds come in, and watching the son pull up, hit his wood duck, knock it down. He had to put another one in it to finish it off, but he managed to get it down. And I got to tell you, like, I've been around people before when they've got their first duck, but I've been shooting as well, right? So I never really fully appreciate at the moment, but sitting back and watching a dad telling his son, get ready, and then his son pulls up and drops a beautiful drake, wood duck.
Nice.
Yeah, and drop that as your first bird. I'm gonna tell you, it was pretty special. It was pretty awesome to be a part of it. And then to be able to send my dog to go pick that bird up for him and bring it back. And when my dog dropped it off to me and I picked it up and showed him. And I'll tell you this, Philly, when he got his picture with his wood duck, he didn't have the beak shoved down the barrel of the gun.
That's a no-no.
I can promise you. I showed him how to hold the bird, how the head up and your hand underneath the belly and the whole
Show
bit.
some due respect.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
don't be a douchebag.
Don't be a douchebag. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't pay for followers.
I fucking hate. I gotta agree with you, Philly. I hate seeing the beak of a duck shoved down the barrel of a gun.
Yeah.
And a picture. I don't know what it is about it. I don't like it.
Yeah, show some respect
you
to the
post
animal.
You post it on the Webernet. It is there forever, and we are our own worst enemy.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Doing stupid shit like this.
Oh yeah, like that's just what
This is why I drink.
Well,
where are you seeing this? I've never heard of people.
Oh no,
people doing that. No.
Buddy, on the regular.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
You'll see. Now, I will say this, that I honestly believe that the people that do it aren't doing it out of disrespect. They're just
dumb.
They just don't. They just think that it's funny and it's cool and the whole bit, right? I don't think they're doing it out of malice.
No, they just don't know any better.
They just don't know any better, and that was, I think that was one of the original goals of this show, Philly, was that we could,
call people out.
Well, I don't know.
Fun of people.
I don't know if that was the what's written on. Maybe that was what was said between the five of us, but I don't think it was ever put on paper that we're looking to call people out.
No,
but
it's just kind of what happened.
Yeah, but I think what our goal was to show some ideas on, hey, listen, this is what makes us look like we're the barbarians that the antis try to make us out to be, right?
Yeah.
So,
even if you have a pile of geese, like that picture I sent you.
Yeah.
If you have one that shot up and all bloody, put that at the bottom of the pile.
Absolutely, buddy. Absolutely.
I used to bow hunt whitetails a lot. Where your arrow went in, you put your bow over that because no one wants to see the 2-inch hole going into his chest.
Little bottle of water.
Yeah.
Clean it up.
Well, we've talked about it on this show, Ash, and Mark, our buddy that comes on the show. And Mark is primarily a big game hunter before he's a duck hunter, I would say. And Mark brought it up one time while we were talking about this very thing and about being respectful to the animal and stuff. And he brought up the fact, he said, have you ever seen any picture from like those safaris down in Africa and stuff? You will never see the animal disrespect it, or like when it's always cleaned up, it's staged, it looks good, you know what I mean? Like that, I get it, it's a dead animal, but it's not, there's no blood to be seen, it's not, you know what I mean? Like they take the time to make sure that it's as presentable as possible. So like you said, you got that bird that's shot up, because listen, it happens. Where one gets shot up, where one, the beads don't spread out, and it's like a slug going through them. But
that was Romeo's first bird, because he sat up and had a look around and like see where the birds are, and birds were beetling out to the right, and he was on the far left. So for him to swing over, but he looked and there was two off on the left hand side, and he put one right up Main Street on the one goose going away.
I believe the term is pillowcased.
Well, I tell you what. Well, I tell you what. We were out with Phil a couple of years ago, and it was a goose, and Mark Vitch had just made like one of those, you know, when the geese are coming towards you and you're shoot, and then they keep flying over your head and you try to roll over and you're coughing blind and like you're sort of kind of shooting like this behind you. Well, Merck had done that. He had rolled over and he made this shot and smacked this goose down. And we were like, oh, great shot, you know, awesome shot. And then the next flock comes in and Philly, and we're all about pictures, right? We're all about getting pictures and putting it up on social media and everything. And Philly absolutely decapitates this goose, like just
with a 20 gauge,
like, and I mean, like you could see it, like you could see the goose coming, and then its head goes in one direction and his body goes in the other. And we're like, yeah, that one's not going in the picture. We can't put that one on.
Put that one at the bottom of the pile.
That one's tuck a wing
tuck
around.
The neck around.
Yeah.
Well, Romeo was sitting there in the blind, you know, I'm like, good job, buddy. You know, shake his hand. Awesome job. He's wearing a new camo jacket. Throw the goose in the blind with him. There you go. Get
Awesome.
30 that up.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a rite of passage. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like my 2 brand new decoy bags.
Well, yeah. So and that same hunt, Philly gets brand new decoy bags from our buddy down at Real Geese Decoys. Sends Philly up some new decoy bags, and Merck and I are staging our photo, and we take the messiest geese that we can find, and we put them on top of the decoy bags first, so we could.
All 15 honkers piled right on top. There is just blood smeared everywhere.
And we were like, yeah, you got to break them in, right? Same thing. You got to add some character to them. So.
Yeah, everyone's wearing. All the guides are wearing bib overalls that are covered in blood and who knows what else. And 4 years of dirt and people, you should wash those. No, you shouldn't.
No, no. Bad luck. Yeah. It's like a hockey player changing his, washing his t-shirt that he wears underneath his gear. You don't do it.
Yeah.
Just don't do it. Andy, buddy, so moving forward now, and I know what you said, how you've got some ideas on picking people for next year and stuff like that, but from a battalion sense, so from, what's the goal of the battalion? Because listen, the RSM, the COs they've got to be behind it somewhat, right? Like they've got to be backing it, to know that you're going to be trying to fundraise on unit lines and the whole bit, right? So like what's the goal from your side of things, from the battalion side of things? What's the goal here in the future?
Yeah, so I mean, I think the goal here is, like Ash was saying, is to not only to have these places like these hunts put on for troops and veterans, but the other way around too. It's great for the battalion to show face and go to these events and participate, like, in standard soldier fashion. Everybody's cleaning up or helping cook or doing whatever, right? So even though these gentlemen like Doug and Tim were taking us on this guided hunt, from my point of view, like stepping back and looking at the situation, it doesn't get better for guides. You know what I mean? Dudes that are willing to work, you don't have to tell them to do stuff. They just do it. You know what I mean? And yeah.
Well, to add that, like Doug walked in the cabin after you guys left and he's like, well, did they even stay? There's no one in here. Yeah. Like everything was clean.
Everything was cleaned
way
up.
Done. Yeah. All you had to do was make the beds and the next group could come in.
Yeah. Change out the linens, right? Change out the linens and then that's it. You know what? And that's a good thing. Obviously, he's going to be more welcoming next year, right? As opposed to if you left it in a shit state, then well, hey, listen, I'm not letting you guys back to destroy my cottage, right? So when you do it that way, well then, and that's I think that's all anybody wants nowadays is just to be shown some respect, and that goes to the farmer, right? And Philly, we've talked about, like, how many times have we seen fellas drive out onto a field knowing that they shouldn't have driven out onto the field, and then they get stuck, and then you got to go get the farmer to go get his tractor to come pull you out. And
don't be that guy.
Yeah, and you want to piss off your farmer, wake him up at 6 o'clock. Well, he's probably already awake at 6 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
but
Well,
drag him
actually,
drag him from what his routine is to
Yeah.
be able to get the tractor and come out and pull you out of the field that you shouldn't have even been driving on in the first place.
yeah, Jeff Martin actually took his CNC machine from home and made plaques for all the farmers for
Oh,
hosting
that's
the
cool.
event.
That's cool.
You know, it had a maple leaf and then 2023 veteran hunt host. So we're going to go out and give those to the farmers, and then they can put it
That's
up and
awesome.
Wherever
That's
they
awesome.
want. And there
Yeah.
you go. Like it's
Yeah.
something for them.
Some sort of thank you. Yeah, no, for sure,
Yep.
buddy. That's amazing. And I think that's all those guys. I don't think they expect anything, but
No.
when it's something like that, just a small gesture, it goes a long ways, and it makes it easier next year when you come back knocking on the
Exactly,
door
it
and
does.
asking, right?
I just got to throw this out there real quick. Pick up your damn shells. I've been
Yeah.
to two fields since that said hunt, and I've picked up 60 to 100 shells that were from like last year or the year before too.
That's
just awful.
That's interesting. So this came up on my feed the other day, and you know what? I gotta admit, I don't do it, but the wads. Do you guys clean up the wads too? Like after
everything.
After around me, yes, but I don't go looking
No.
everywhere for wads.
We scour, like we do the walk of the area where all the decoys were to make sure you're not forgetting
Yeah.
a stand for a Higdon out there or something like that. And
Yeah.
but if there's a wad there, yeah, we pick it up.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like if it's there, but like I don't like I consciously make an effort to ensure there's no spent casings, right? No spent rounds. So I'll go around, I'll do that, and then when you're picking up your decoys, if there's wads, well, you pick them up. But that's the extent of I go for wads. Philly, do you pick up wads?
I see them, yeah.
If you see them, yeah, but like you don't push out further than like what your decoys are.
I'm not going on a fucking sightseeing mission.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I mean. But
if I'm out, I guess that's bad practice on my behalf for sure. Like, if I'm out picking up dead chickens, grabbing decoys and stuff, start pocketing them, especially so if I'm doing like an A-frame panel brine hunt, I sit on a bucket. Guess what that bucket turns into? A garbage pail.
Yeah, absolutely.
Solely for that reason. Like, we'll get out of the hunt. Like, even if I'm a guest and I'm in someone else's panels or A-frame, I pop, because I got like a padded cushion thing for the top of my bucket. I pop the lid off, guys. Here, fill it up.
Yeah. No, absolutely. No, that's a good point, Andy, because there's a lot of people that really don't pick up their fucking shells, and for a farmer, buddy, you're dropping a couple of boxes of shells.
I was in the same field that I took you and Mark to.
Yeah.
I found out one year I had shared permission. Anyway, so I go back and hunt that field like a couple days after these guys had hunted it. I could not. So we're hunting standing corn against cut corn. I couldn't tell you how many of their hulls
really
I had to pick up. It was embarrassing.
Yeah, I just throw all mine
them up though.
Yeah, I throw all mine in the bottom of my layout blind. Well, halfway through the season, it sounds like
Steve, you have that wrong, Ash. You got to throw it in your buddy's layout blind.
Yeah, but the thing is, he does it to me though too. So it's like, wow. And then I just send my kids in after him.
One year, I said, I'm gonna save my hulls just to see how much, like, I shot throughout the year. So I'd bring them home and I'd put them. Yeah, it was a bad idea. Like I brought
too
home,
many.
Yeah, there was too many, and I was like, now what the fuck am I going to do with all these empty hulls? I was like, oh yeah, cool. I got a cool story. Look, this is how much I shot off. Yeah,
garbage bag full of hulls and an empty freezer.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's a really good point, Andy. And it's a little bit of respect, and no more than leaving your Tim Hortons cup out in the field. Why would you leave your shells, right?
And I'm that kind of guy too. Like, if there's a Tim Hortons cup 300 yards away, I'll go get it.
Yeah.
And just huck it in my truck because
yeah,
it's all of our resource.
Now, this whole wad this whole WAD conversation that came up, it got me thinking, and I'm just wondering now, because like I said, I never really went out of my way to pick up. If they were right there and I could see them and it was easy, I picked them up. Yes. And call me lazy because it is. But I can't remember, like, I don't know of anybody that I've hunted with that goes and picks, like, goes out of their way to ensure that there's no wads left around. And
I don't know of anyone, but it's like you said, if they're like, if you're hunting and, you know, let's say you're set up and there's a crosswind,
yeah,
you pop a Canada that's 9 feet in the air, well, that wad could end up who knows where, right?
Yeah.
So,
oh yeah, she's gonna drift.
She's gonna drift. Boys, we're at that 60-minute mark, so this is a good spot to end her, I think. And we'll give you guys the last word here. But on behalf of me, Dave, Mark, so me, Mark, Ryan, veterans, Mark's still serving, but me and Ryan, veterans. Dave's a firefighter, Philly's a cop, and I know Philly.
No. Dave is Homer Simpson and a volunteer firefighter. Okay, pump the brakes, sweetheart.
Okay, all right.
I love you. I love you, Dave. If you're listening, I love
you. Dave's not listening.
Dave's not here, man.
Dave's not here, but I gotta tell you that I really do appreciate what you've done for the veteran community and the still serving community, and you went about it the right way. You're being respectful to the people that's helping you, and you're doing it all the right way. Ash, I know you have a bunch of people that you want to say thank you to, so here's your opportunity, buddy, to put out your thanks and any final words you have.
Okay, well, to start, you know, the shameless plug for my wife's soap company, which, Damien, we're going to be sending, once you send me your mailing address, we're going to send you a couple of the shampoo bars since you didn't get them in 06.
Okay.
So, yeah, you know, for bar soap, you want to look it up, barsoap.com with bar 2 soap. R's, BARR, soap. Agassi Sauna, that's Tim Sauna that he brought out, Joro Consultants, Heights Archery, Punisher Waterfowl, of course, for sending the coolest hats we've ever seen.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. 2 PPC Alive for bringing the, you know, for some of the gifts and stuff that they brought out, which were just amazing. Prairie Shot Ammo, Harvesters, Lake of the Woods Sports Headquarters, Niso Lake Lodge for donating that trip, which Andy got. So the 2 nights at the cabin and a day guided, or took a couple days guided fishing. So Alain KA, Rob Bruce, Forever Prairie, Faith Aperies, Tyler DeCoste, Tim Verbuski, Doug Schindler, whose lodge is where we stayed.
Yeah.
Barry Verbuski, James Bazan, Jeff Martin, Oak Media. They're going to be doing up a video for us, which I'll send you once we get it.
Yes, please. I'll put it up on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, and the 3 most important Voluntold's that were there, which was Cy, Thor, and Bayou, which were the dogs that saved us a hell of a lot of miles chasing those crippled birds. So, yeah, but no, it was, without the volunteers and the donations, it wouldn't be as good, without a doubt. But it was, I think we've suckered ourselves into doing it for hopefully a few more years. So,
that's good news, man. That's good news. Andy?
Yeah, it's been great. I can't believe how awesome that hunt was. Like I said, it was my first guided hunt. What an experience that was. Yeah. First hunt with dogs too. So not having to get up and, like I said, chase down cripples, unreal. Game changer.
You were spoiled, dude. You had dogs and a sauna.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah. So thanks, Ash, for all that. You know, and I don't know if he's gonna listen or not, but you know, Scotty Collin. Thanks, my guy.
There you go.
That's all I got. Yeah.
Really?
Again, like I'm sure Damien can echo this, that like we're beyond happy that things went as well as it did for you guys. And it seemed like it was an absolute hit. Pile of laughs, pile of birds, watching some great dog work. Like, what more can you ask for? And honestly, like, we wish you guys nothing but the best in the future. And I just want to see this continue to grow and grow, and maybe even spread a little bit across the country. Who knows?
Yeah. No, good.
See where this goes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, really good point. No, absolutely. Thanks for doing it, boys. Surround yourself with good people, and good things will happen. And that's been our mantra here, for 161 episodes of this show. So,
don't be a douchebag.
Yeah, and don't be a douchebag. But continue doing what you guys are doing, and listen, next year the same thing, Ash. Like, let me know and come back on the show and talk about when you're ready, when you're starting to plan and anything. If there's anything that we can do to help you guys out, all you got to do is ask, buddy. Don't wait for us to reach out to you. Reach out to us, and if we can do anything to help, I promise you we will.
Much appreciated.
No, absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, please like and subscribe. Do whatever it is. Philly's got some terms. Ring the bell and all this stuff. But
just smash some buttons, bro.
Smash some buttons. Smash some buttons. Like and subscribe. Let your friends know. And listen, surround yourself with good people. And like Philly says, don't be a douchebag and stop putting fucking birds' beaks in the barrels of guns. Stop it right now. If you can't see me and you're listening, I'm pointing my finger at you, telling you to stop.
In an aggressive manner.
In an aggressive manner.
Like his mother. Like it's the mother finger.
Yeah. Listen, this was episode 161 with Ash Barr and Andy Mace. Thanks, guys. Your trip sounded amazing. Your hunt sounded amazing, and I'm just a tad bit jealous that I wasn't there to take it all in, which is. Until next time, this is Union 0430. We will never pretend to be something that we're not. We're not experts, and we will never pretend to be experts. Big love. See you next time.